Yo, it's official. Like a referee with a whistle. So today, man, I'm gonna talk about some weird stuff that I've experienced while visiting and living overseas. And a lot of this stuff, I don't necessarily see it as a good or bad thing, but it's just some stuff that me personally, I can't deal with. I can't tolerate. Now, some people will say, well, you're just Americanized. Leave all that American stuff. Leave all your habits in America and just move on in the frontier and expand your mind and your horizon. No, that sounds good in theory. But while you're in it, it's another thing. So that's easy said than done. Yeah, I've talked to people, had conversations with people about this. Man, that's an American thing. Man, well, look, it don't take a genius to know that every place ain't the same. There's a lot of different things going on in these other countries amongst these people. A lot of it is fluff, and a lot of it is a waste of time, in my opinion. I'm like, what are you doing? You know? Because I like to be productive. I like to try to live the best life as humanly possible, right? And I'm telling you, when I'm out and about traveling, a lot of these people are not thinking like that. A lot of these people are not trying to live their best life. They're not trying to take care of their family and their kids. They're not doing it. You know? And I ask questions. And I'm the type of person that I ask people, I talk to people when I go to these other countries. I'm not somebody that just stay on the internet. No, I know I met these people in person. I've been in their houses. I've been around them. I've spent time around them. I see what they do and what they don't do. I see a lot of their bad habits. So this ain't somebody that just spent 20 years on the internet or some shit like that. No, I've been to these places. I've been to Japan. I've been to Australia. I've been to all these places that you probably wanted to go to or that you've seen other people go to online. I've been to all these places. This shit ain't nothing new to me. I've been doing this shit since the 90s. You know what I'm saying? But to me, it's not a big deal. But it might be a big deal to you. And that's okay. You know? But see, one of the biggest problems I have with visiting other countries is the food. The food is a big problem for me because a lot of these people cook different. The food is different, of course. But when I say they cook different, I gotta give you an example. You know how you go to the grocery store and buy like chicken or any meat in the pack, right? You know, they got it wrapped up. You know, they'll buy it, bring it home. They'll take the chicken out the pack, out the, a little wrapped up container you get from the grocery store. And they'll take it out the pack and put it straight into the pan, put it straight into the pot. I'm like, whoa! Yeah, they don't wash their food off. They'll just take it and put it straight into the pot, put it straight into the pan. However they want to cook it, they're gonna put it straight in there in the pot pan without washing it off, without sometimes even seasoning it. And to me, I couldn't imagine doing no shit like that. You know, I'm like, what the fuck? She just did. I'm like, I'm not eating that shit. You know, nah, I'm not eating that shit now. You know, after I saw that. And see, I ain't the type of person that that's going to tell somebody unless they go too far. I'm not going to tell someone if they're doing something I don't like unless they go too far. You know, and too far, that could be whatever I say it is, basically. You know what I'm saying? But in this case, I didn't say anything. I was like, I'm just observing, right? You know? So the hygiene, the food and the hygiene is the next thing. Now, something else I saw. And I've seen this. I've seen plenty of people go to the restroom in the airports and get off the pot, go to this, and don't even wash their hands. They just get off the pot and walk out. I've seen that hundreds of times. That ain't, you know, not a big deal. Because I'm out in public. I don't know these people. I don't really care. Now, when I do care is when a woman is doing it. Now, I remember one time, I think I was in Japan at the time. And there's a Filipino girl, right? I just met her, you know, whatever, you know. It's my second time seeing her, right? And you know, I don't know if you noticed, but in Japan and the Philippines, a lot of these countries on that side of the world, they have like 2 to 3 styles of toilet. They got the toilet that we have over here in America, and they got the toilet that's on the floor. I forgot what they call it, right? And they got, you know, the stall that you go to that's on the wall. And I think they might have another one too. But the one that she had, well, you basically had, the one was on the floor. You had to, as a woman, you have to stoop down. You know what I'm saying? You don't sit down. You kind of you stoop down. You take your pants down, and you stoop down, and you piss like that, and you flush. You know, the flushing is the same. You know, everything works the same, it's just on the floor, basically, right? So I saw her get up. She just pulled her pants up and walked out the bathroom. And I'm like, oh shit. Yeah. She just pulled her pants up and walked out the bathroom. She didn't wipe her cooch. She didn't wash her hand or nothing, right? I'm like, oh shit. So I'm like shocked. I didn't really know what to think at the time, right? So that made me change how I didn't even. I think that was the last day I seen her. You know, cause I totally got turned off when I saw her do that shit. I'm like, you nasty bitch. In my mind, that's how I'm thinking, right? Until I started to spend, you know, as time went on, because this is like my first 6 months in Japan at the time. And there's a lot of people from the Philippines in Japan. So as time went on, I started to learn that, oh, it ain't just her. That's just a lot of them get down like that. This is more like a habit. You know, this is, you know, a lot of people don't use tissue, toilet tissue, like we use over here. And a lot of good women, some of them wipe, some of them don't when they get off the toilet. Whether it's piss, shit, or whatever. Some of them do it, some of them don't. That's what I was told. But see, I don't know this. I don't know no better. I'm new, right? I ain't never, at my first 6 months, I ain't never been in Japan. Was the first place I went. as far as going overseas. So I'm just still learning, right? I don't know shit, really. So I'm like, oh. So once I learned better, I started meeting other people. They say, oh, it's not just not just her, just being from the Philippines. That's some people are just like that. If she's from a city, they probably have toilet tissue, and she probably do wipe every time she piss or take a dump, right? But they said if she's from the village or a small town, she probably don't do it every time. You know, it's up to the woman. And this is what I was told now. You know, yeah. You know, this is what I was told. Then they said sometimes they use soap, sometimes they don't. Sometimes they use wipes, sometimes they don't. You know, it just depends on the girl. Now, I didn't know this. I'm like, so now I'm thinking, I can't go down on a bitch like that. That is just my mind, my way of thinking now. Now, and after, you know, I'm having conversations with different people. Now, this is after months and months, right? And then I found out that a lot of women, I mean, just people in general, on that side of the world, like the Philippines, Vietnam, Japan, they don't Guam, you know, especially China, they don't do things in the bedroom like we do here in the West. Like going down on a woman, that's kind of a Western thing. You know, that's I'm not saying they don't do it, but it's rare. You know, now if you want your girl to go down on you, you're gonna have to tell her that you like it, and you might have to show her how to do it, because it's not something that they practice, I would say. You know, and this is something else I didn't know. This is why a lot of depending on what country the girl's from, especially the Philippines, they don't usually going down on somebody. That's not something that's not common. I would say that. You know, it's like if you went down on a girl, if she lived in the village or something like, if she from the village or something like that, or a small town, she probably look at you a little weird. You probably get a different type of reaction. You know, now in Japan, if she knows that you like it, she probably would go along with it. But, you know, over time, she would kind of get used to it. What I'm trying to say, they're not used to that. That's what I'm trying to say. In most cases, now there's some girls that are they might have seen some shit on TV, or her friends might have said something, or told her or whatever. And some might have went to college over here. Some might be Americanized. So yeah, you know, they're gonna be a little different. They're gonna, you know. But if you take a girl that ain't never left the Philippines, ain't never left Japan, they don't know what's going on over here in the western side of the world, and she's from a small town or from a village in the Philippines, there's a good chance you have to show her what to do in the bedroom as far as what you like to do. There's a good chance, you know, that number is going to be very high. You're coming from a different world in her eyes. You know what I'm saying? She probably ain't never left. She ain't never left the Philippines before. She probably never left her town before. She been in her town all her life. She don't know nothing about. They don't see nothing on television. They heard about America, but they don't know what's going on over here. It's a totally different way of living and thinking over there for her. You know. So you're gonna have to educate her on what you like, what you don't like, what feels good, what don't feel good, and all that stuff. You know. Now, see, the mistake that I made, I assume that the girls knew. That's the mistake that's a mistake that a lot of us guys make when we go overseas. We assume that we don't even talk about it. We just assume that she should know what's going on, and that's a mistake. You know, that's a mistake that a lot of us make. You know, and after, you know, spending time around a lot of these people, you know, you go to their house, see how they living and all that stuff or whatever. And, you know, some people are working class, some people are poor, some people are rich, some people might be well off. That's just how it is, you know. Now, there might be a big gap in certain countries, like the Philippines, for example. There's a big wealth gap in the Philippines. You know, most working class people are really struggling. You know, if they live in a city, well, that's a little different. You know, but if they live in a small town or country, something like that, yeah, you know. But even in the big cities, but the thing is, there's a big gap in between, wealth gap in between. In the places like the Philippines, Vietnam, Malaysia, places like that. And if you go there, you'll be able to see it. And if you get to know these people, you see what I'm talking about. You know, yeah. Now in Japan, it's a little different. You know, but even in Japan, you be able to tell. You know, and the hood mentality is everywhere, worldwide. The hood, the ghetto girl is everywhere. Everywhere I've been, there's that ghetto mentality. It don't have anything to do with just being in the Western world. There's ghetto girls in Japan. There's ghetto girls in Vietnam. There's ghetto girls in Malaysia. There's ghetto girls in the Philippines. There's ghetto girls in Australia. Everywhere I've been, I ran into that ghetto mentality. There's no way of, you can't get away from that. You know, so that's one thing I've learned by being overseas. And I also learned that, and I made this mistake. I assumed that I thought that, because being in Japan, you're going to meet people from all over the world, especially if you're in the Tokyo area, right? The Tokyo is a lot like New York City. You meet people from everywhere. You name it. Every country, every city in the world, people are there, right? That's why it's so crowded, you know? So you meet people from Jamaica, from Nigeria, from Sudan, from Kenya, people from all over the place, right? From all the African countries, basically, right? So I thought that we were cool. I just assumed that, right? You know what I'm saying? And I realized that, oh, these people ain't really down with us like that. You know, they just kind of playing around most of the time. They're like parasites. They'll cosplay and play around and act like, because when you go to these other countries, people, and this is kind of maybe an insult sometimes. People start talking like, they'll act like everybody listen to all the black people in America listen to hip hop music. So they'll be like, yo, what's up? Yo, yo, yo. I'm like, so I'm looking at them like, what the fuck is wrong with this person? You know, we don't talk like that. You know, who talks like that? So I realized that these people believe the stereotypes and the propaganda. They actually believe everything they see on TV, whether it's a movie or whatever, right? So I'm like, oh, okay. You know, y'all need to update your stereotypes. You know, so I ran into that. And then you got a lot of people from the African countries, they're cosplaying, acting like they down with you, but they're just basically parasites. They're trying to get something out of you in most cases. They're not really trying to have a relationship with you in most cases. I'm not saying that I'm not saying that every person you meet from the continent of Africa is going to be like that. But I'm just saying that's been my experience. You know, whether they're from Nigeria or Sudan or Kenya or wherever, most of these people are not really feeling us like that. You know, a lot of times there's a jealousy there. And I don't really know where it stems from. I asked a woman one day, hey, why, because I ran into it here in America on jobs and stuff like that. I remember I started working at Bank of America one day. And, you know, at Bank of America, you deal with, it's a corporate building. So you see the same people all the time, right? And I asked, and you know, I parked in the Bank of America parking lot every day, 5 days a week. And there was this one guy that just kept giving me a hard time. I'm like, what's the problem? Because the cards, you know, they had this access card to come in and out of the parking garage. And some days it wouldn't work. And if it doesn't work, someone had to come out to let me in. You had to push a button if it didn't work. So 9 times out of 10, it would be the manager, this one guy that just gave me a hard time, right? Every time. I'm talking the first day to the last day I worked there. So one day I asked this lady, like, that worked underneath him, hey, what's his problem? How come he giving us a hard time all the time? And she was like, oh, it's just jealousy because he feels like you being black and you were born in America, you have an advantage over him or whatever. So I told her, I said, look, okay, oh, that's cool, but I didn't have nothing to do with being born in America. My parents were born and raised over here. So that ain't got nothing to do with me, you know? So it's that type of, I felt that's what she told me. And so it's that type of thinking that you're gonna run into that, especially on these jobs. Because the mistake that we made, us Black Americans made, is we thought, hey man, those are our brothers over there. You know, But they don't see us the same. Unfortunately, most of them don't. They just want to get close to us and all of these other groups of people. In my opinion, based on my experience, they have a parasite mentality. They just looking to get something. And that could be anything. That could be sex, money, whatever. Some type of hookup, whatever it is. You know, they're just trying to get something. They're not really trying to build a relationship with us like that. You know, it's that parasite mentality. It's always, you know, they're always looking for some type of way to get over. You know, this is why you have a lot of girls online who'll ask you for money. They'll ask you for money with the quickness because they know they ain't trying to meet up with you. They have no intentions of ever meeting up with you. So they'll just go for the gusto and ask you for some money within 10 to 15 minutes of chatting with her. Because she doesn't care. Because she don't have no intentions of ever meeting up with you or building a relationship with you. So she got that type of mentality. It's like everything's a scheme or a scam, and lying is normal in these other countries. As a matter of fact, if you're the type of person that you believe in having, you know, integrity and treating people fair, if you come across to them like that, some of them will take that as weakness. And then the second thing, they probably will be looking at you like, what the hell? This motherfucker's really being honest for real. They'll be shocked that, okay, he's serious about this shit. You know, they'll be like, they might be skeptical and surprised that you're really being honest, that you really know how to do, and you can back up exactly what you're telling them, because their mentality is to fake it till you make it and scheme and run scams and rip people off. This is where they're coming from. This is their what some people call their culture, right? But see, I always say you can call it what you want. You can say that's their culture all you want, but some people use that as a scapegoat. So, because they'll say, oh, I got robbed, and somebody will come in and say, oh, that's their culture. Well, their culture is robbing and stealing. If that's the case, well, I don't want to be a part of that culture then. You know what I'm saying? I mean, if that's what it is what it is. So there's a lot of robbing and scheming, scamming, and ripping people off in these other cultures. And lying is not necessarily a bad thing. This is, you know, that's why when they start telling me stuff, I kind of take it with a grain of salt. And they'll come up with some of the most outlandish, some of the most outrageous stories for you to feel sorry for them and for you to give them some money. You know, it's like the extent that they go about coming up with stories is like, are you serious? I'm like, what the hell? You know? And over time, I mean, you're not gonna see this. Over time, you're gonna see this. You're gonna be like, what the hell am I getting out of this relationship with this person? Because they're not really giving anything. And then,
do you find yourself struggling to meet women through online dating apps? Are you tired of constantly swiping left with no success and not knowing what to say to get the attention of a woman? Look no further. Our expert tips and tricks will give you the confidence you need to succeed in the online dating world. It's time to start taking control of your dating life and master the art of online dating. Imagine meeting some of the most attractive women in the world, Our game-changing program will help you navigate the world of online dating with confidence and charm. From creating a standout profile to crafting the perfect message, we've got you covered every step of the way. Our program covers everything you need to know to make a lasting impression. Say goodbye to endless swiping and hello to meaningful connections with the women of your dreams. Join the countless men who have found success in meeting women through online dating by following our time-tested and proven strategies. Take the first step towards improving your dating life today. Master the art of online dating and take your game to the next level. With our proven strategies, you'll be a pro at online dating in no time. So don't wait. Go to onlinedatingfordummies.com and get started today. And take control of your dating life, and you'll be light years ahead of most men with our groundbreaking program. Get ready to swipe right with confidence and watch your success explode. So don't wait. Get started today by going to onlinedatingfordummies.com and take the first step towards finding your perfect match.
Eventually, you be like, yeah, I gotta let this shit go. I gotta cut this off. Because there's no benefit being around this person. Because every time you talk to them, they want something, need something, or some old wild and crazy shit happening to them. Oh, I'm getting locked out. I'm getting evicted. You know, they'll come up with some outlandish shit. Or I haven't paid my phone bill in 3 months, but it's still on. Come on, man. You know, it's always some type of wild, crazy shit they got going on. You know, and that once you get to know them more, it'll be like this will be like a pattern of them. You know, it's always something. It's never a dull moment with a lot of them. You know, it's like, come on, man. So over time, you be like, yeah, I gotta cut this bitch off. But there's no benefit being around them. It's always some crazy made up story that they come up with. You know, so you just gotta let them go. You know, there's nothing really positive that they really have to talk about, really. You know, there's always some type of negativity, something that happened to them. You know, they probably say, oh, I got robbed. You know, I got cut on my head, you know, cut on my arm. Somebody robbed me in the alley, you know. And 9 times out of 10, something might have did happen to them. But what they forgot to tell you is they probably ripped somebody off. So more than likely it's gonna be payback. If somebody attacked them, you know. But this is my experience, you know. Now, a lot of people ain't, you know, they don't really like you to talk about them like that, because they'll say, why you airing out airing out all the dirt about us when nobody talks about it? It's like, you would think if I wanted to move, if I was thinking about moving to somewhere like Uganda or something like that, that they would have some type of dual citizenship. Hell no. Hey, man, there's so much red tape when it comes to that shit. You know, and they say, and they say we supposed to be cool, but there ain't no dual citizenship. If you want dual citizenship, first thing you gotta go over there with a bag. You gotta go over there with, you know, I think you gotta, last I checked, you gotta have like 100,000, 200,000, and then you gotta, why are you coming over here, or what you gonna do when you get here, and all this shit like that. I mean, the average person can't afford that shit. Hell, I can't even afford to move to another country like that. And when you go over there, you're gonna get ripped off again. Because 9 times out of 10, you know, you gotta find a place to stay. And that's how there's a good chance you're gonna get ripped off right there too. And a lot of us, when we go to these other countries, we buy land or even buy a nice, decent place to stay, and they're gonna rip you off there, you know? So, and then I've heard horror stories about people move to think Ghana or someplace like that, and some other country, man, Sudan or something like that, and they get all this shit taken, and house get railroaded and robbed, and all kind of wild shit going on, man. The land end up getting taken because some white dude the white dude want the property, so all right, the nigga got to go. It's that type of shit. So I've heard horror stories, and then you have some black women that have bought property in these other countries. They got killed. Shit like that. Shit happens, man. And a lot of it doesn't even get reported. These are just things that have gotten reported. Think about the things that haven't gotten reported. Some people go to places like Libya, and that's usually a trap to go to Libya. That's like at this point, if you go to Libya, that's like that's like a death trap, suicide. They've been setting us up in Libya for over 100 years. My if I'm not mistaken, that's how my grandfather got killed when he went to Libya, if I'm not mistaken, because he was in the military at the time, and the whole shit was a trap. If I'm not mistaken, I need to ask my sister about that. Because she's a little older than me. But yeah, so these people are not down with us like that, man. I'm telling you. We have no friends out here. All we got is us. So now the passport means a lot. The U.S. passport means a lot to these other people. Because they have, like I said, they have a parasite gang mentality. So if you pull your passport out and they see a U.S. passport, they'll be like, oh, shit, So that'll kind of keep them off of you a little bit. They ain't gonna, if they try to railroad you, they ain't gonna really make it so blatant. Especially, so it's really about who you down with and who you know when you go to these other countries. Like if you're in the military, you probably good. Hey, ain't nobody gonna really bother you like that. The women might try to get you, but as far as the guys, they ain't gonna really bother you like that. But if you're the type of person that you're going to some country to visit somebody or on vacation, and you by yourself, you got to be careful. And it's going to vary depending on what country you go to. That's just how that is. And depends on your nationality. That's just how that is. There's certain places good for white guys, and there's certain places good for black guys. That's just how the world works. Is it fair? No, but that's just how it is. I would tell a white guy, go to Europe. Go to Europe. You probably be fine. Eastern Europe, you probably be fine. No problem. You know what I'm saying? If you're a black man, going to Japan, be fine. You have a great time, even if it's for a week. If you go to Malaysia, if you're a black man, you're fine. Singapore, black man, you're fine. Australia, black man, you're fine. Even if you're a white guy going to Australia, you're fine. But the white people in America and the white people in Australia, they do bump heads a little bit. They don't see a lot of things the same for multiple different reasons or whatever. But even as a white guy, you still have a good time or whatever. You might bump heads with the white people there, but whatever. Everybody don't see things the same, but you can still get along. So, that's how it is. We had, as a black man in America, and even really around the world, we don't have no friends out here. That's just what it is. We are alone. All we have is us. These people are not really down with us like that. Sure, can you have good relationships with certain people? Yeah, those are one-offs. That's what I call those relationships, one-offs. But I'm talking about as a collective, as a group. We have no friends. All we have is us. If we don't look out for us, ain't nobody else gonna do it. You know, these people are not. I don't care what language she speak. They be like, oh, because a lot of times we get confused. We think having a good time, entertainment, means that this person is cool with us. No, having a good time, that's entertainment. That's fun. That ain't. You can have a good time and have fun with anybody. You can have a good time and have fun with a fucking criminal or a pedophile or whatever. That don't got nothing to do with that. Who cares? Shit. This person you might be having fun with could be a killer. But y'all had fun last night. You just didn't know he killed people. So that don't really matter. I mean, at the end of the day, does this person care about you? When shit hit the fan, are they really gonna be there for you? If something happens to you, are they gonna be there for you? That's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about just somebody that like to hang out and go to the club and have a couple of drinks and have some good old sex. No, I ain't talking about that. Shit, you can do that with anybody, like I said. But see, that's the thing. A lot of people get confused. They think, okay, I went to Vietnam and I had a good time. And, those girls over there are better than black women in America. See, that's where things get confused at. Because, see, they can't decipher a good time from a good quality woman that's rocking with you. See, that's where the confusion comes from, especially if you have some type of motherly issues, or you have, issues with your parents growing up, or you feel deserted and all that shit. See, I didn't grow up with none of that shit. I didn't have no problem with my parents. So when I went overseas, first off, I never wanted to go overseas. I'm gonna put that out there. I never wanted to go to Japan. Ever. I was in the military, so I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go over here, see what this shit is about, and that's it. I thought about not going, to be honest. I thought about not getting on the plane. I explored my options. I said, okay, if I don't go on the plane, what's gonna happen? They said, well, if you don't go on the plane, they're gonna put you down as AWOL. And if you ever run into the police or something like that, they're not gonna come looking for you. But if you ever get stopped by the cop or something like that for anything, they're gonna lock you up and you're gonna be transported to the nearest Navy base, and you probably gonna have to do some prison time. So I was like, oh, I don't want to go down that route. So I'm gonna get on a plane. So I never wanted to go. So I didn't see it like I'm trying to go overseas to meet some girl so I can find a wife. I wasn't even thinking about no shit like that. I'm thinking about what the hell I just signed up for. And how long is it gonna be until I can get out of here? That's how I was thinking. I wasn't even thinking about having no fun. See, life ain't all about having fun all the time. It's not. And see, another thing I learned is that a lot of these women, men and women, are from whole culture. They got the whole mentality and the prostitute mentality, escort. They believe in they got that whole prostitute mentality. That's what a lot of these women are coming from. And a woman being a hoe and prostituting herself, a lot of these guys don't see that as so bad. That's not so bad. That's not such a big deal like it is over here in North America. Even in South America, they don't. That prostituting and being an escort. Them guys, they don't really see that as such a bad thing, as long as the money comes in. They don't look. They don't. If the guy money get low, he'll put his wife and say, put a dress on and put the clear heels on. You got to go in the strip club to make us some money. The kids are hungry. The food is getting low. That happens here in America. Or they'll be like, hey, you got to sell some cooch. We got to eat. I ain't got no more money. My money low. So that's what Backpage was for before they took it down. Now they moving to Craigslist. You have a lot of women that are online prostituting themselves and they're married. So if it ain't a big deal before the guy gets married, no, I'm sorry. If it ain't a big deal while the guy's married to a woman, you know it ain't a big deal before he is married. You know what I mean? So I've known guys that have married women that are like this. I've known guys that went to Colombia, Peru, Mexico, Japan, China, Brazil, and wifed them girls up, and they live happily ever after. Had kids and everything. You know. Now I don't want to settle down with a woman like that, with that mentality. You know, that's just me though. You might say, hey man, she look good. I don't give a damn. I'll let it go. Okay, that's cool. You know what I'm saying? Whatever works for you. You know? But this mentality exists. This culture, I call it the whole prostitute culture. It exists where people will do almost anything for some money. You know, that it's kind of like people that live in the hood, that grew up in the hood. They'll do almost anything for money. Right? Now see, I didn't grow up in the hood. So I can't relate to that. Can I understand? Yeah, some people say, well, it's survival. Okay, yeah, I get it. But I don't want to be around that. Because whatever they got, I don't want to rub off on me. I want what I have to rub off on them. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, you know. I'm not saying what's right or wrong. I'm just telling you what's out here. I'm telling you where a lot of these women are coming from. It's kind of like if you meet a girl. This is probably one of the main reasons why a lot of girls ask guys for money online. If she's telling you, hey, if you send me $20, I'll send you some naked pictures of me. I'm like, I don't care about your naked pictures. This is what guys are doing online now. I don't give a damn about your naked pictures. I don't get turned on by that shit. You know? So this shit type of shit happens. They ask you for money because in her mind, she got that whole mentality. It's kind of like, you got to be doing something to be around me. You can't just be around me because I like you or you like me. No, it has to be some type of transaction. You have to be getting something. You know what I'm saying? So it's that type of mentality that I don't like. You know what I'm saying? Now, there's a difference between, hey, I just like this person as a human being, and if they need something, and if I can help, I'll do it, or vice versa. That's different than you being around me just because, or only because you want some money, or only because you want something done and you know I can do it. That's more of a parasite, mentality. I'm trying to use him, before he get me, I got to get the best of him. See, that's that parasite mentality, the parasite hoe mentality. And that's where a lot of these women that you're going to meet, that's where they're coming from. That's their mindset. Because that's it's embedded in their culture to be that way. And another thing you find, there's a lot of single women out here. God damn. Woo. I'm talking about they take single motherhood to the next level in these other countries. And I'm talking all over the world. Places like Australia, hell, even in Canada. There's a lot of single mothers in Canada. Australia, Canada, the Philippines, where else? Vietnam, Europe, boy, you got single mothers is running rapid in these damn countries. Even like, God damn, I'm talking women got 2-3 kids, ain't never been married. Now, if you've been married, you got a divorce, okay, shit, this doesn't work, I get it. But you got women in these other countries, they got 2-3 kids and they get a hella benefits. Ain't never been married and ain't trying to get married. And most guys, they ain't trying to fuck with them women like that anyway. At best, in most cases, them women usually end up being hoes. They usually end up pimping them out in some type of way. Ain't no guys seriously thinking about being in a relationship or even being around a woman with 2 and 3 kids in these other countries. I mean, it's one thing, age is one thing, because a lot of these women, they age out, or some of these guys have this thing where if the woman is past the age of 35, they ain't trying to fuck with her. She's damaged goods. And then if you put on top of that with 2 or 3 kids, that's even worse. That makes it even harder. And this woman knows that. She know the rules. She know the social game rules in her culture. So if she's looking at it like, okay, if I want to get with a man and have, get married one day, I'm gonna have to meet somebody else outside of my culture. So if you might not know, you go visit these countries, she noticed you don't know, because you ain't never been to this place before. You might have heard about it, but you don't really know what's going on over there in the Philippines or Vietnam if you ain't never been there before. So, in a lot of cases, this woman might have 2 kids and she's expecting you to take care of her kids, because there's a good chance that the father of her kids, he don't want nothing to do with her. He might not be around at all. Because these guys, boy, they will desert a woman with kids. And now the only reason these women maintain is because of her family. She got a lot of support from her family. So it doesn't really hurt her. Versus being here in America, you know, it probably would, a woman would probably struggle very badly if she didn't really have no support from her friends and family or the father here in America, you know. But being that she's over there in her country or around the people in her community, she can kind of maintain and be okay. It won't really hurt her, because if she can't take care of the kids and she got to work, she can probably, the neighbor or family member or somebody, you know, could probably take care of the kids. And you got to think about it, they don't really have daycare like that, like they do over here in these other countries. Usually a family member, the mom or somebody or grandma would take care of the kids or something like that. That's usually how it go. If the dad can't do it, you know what I'm saying? Or, you know, so you just have to know what you're getting into, you know. And if a woman has, first off, if a woman has 2-3 kids, she's irresponsible. If she never been married before. If she been married before, that's a different story. But if a woman has, if you meet a woman and she had 1 kid, okay, all right, she got 1 kid, she made a mistake, all right, whoop-de-doo, whatever, you know, I get it. But hopefully she learned and don't make the same mistake over again. But if she has a 2nd kid, she's irresponsible, you know, because she didn't learn her lesson from the 1st kid. A 3rd kid, she's just irresponsible. You know, she didn't learn her lesson from the 2nd one. So that's a sign, that's a red flag right there. A woman that ain't never been married, got 2-3 kids out of wedlock, she's irresponsible. You know, she don't take responsibility for not getting pregnant by a man that don't want to get married to her and probably don't have anything to do with her. He really ain't fucking with her like that. But she don't know no better, or probably get caught up in the moment. You know, I don't know, or probably just and irresponsible. So, do you really want to be around somebody that's like that? You know, you got to pick up the slack from these other guys. Because if you get with her and she got 2 or 3 kids, well, that's a package deal. You can't say, "Hey, I want to get with this woman, live with her, but think that, oh, I don't want to be no daddy to nobody else's kids. I don't want to take care of nobody else's kids." If y'all in the same household together, well, yeah, that comes with the territory. If y'all move in together, that's why, me personally, I would never get with a woman with 2 and 3 kids, because I can't do that shit. I don't want to do it. Never thought about doing it. You know what I'm saying? But you might say you might be different, and that's okay. But I'm just telling, these are my standards. This is my principles, how I want to live my life. I prefer to get with a woman with no kids. I want to be the first kid coming out of her womb. I don't want to have, you know, that's just me though. That's just me, you know. But these are just some things, weird things that I've learned from my experience visiting and living overseas. You know, I can go on and on, but this video is getting a little bit too long. So like, share this video, and tell me what you think, and tell me some weird things you experienced and seen. You know. So until next time, I'm out. Peace.
Alright. Just got the call, it's going down tonight. It's a lot of goodbyes here tonight, but then I saw the sky and that I like.